Hey everybody, Brannon Beliso here. Let me see if I can get some love going there. Hey, let's try that. Bunch of new effects here at Facebook. It is Success Never Sleeps. You're hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. As you're coming aboard, please let me know that you're there. Put in your name. Let me know that you're here. I love to know who I'm talking with, who I'm hanging out with. And I think that's an important thing. Cool. So get as you're coming aboard. I see, whoa, lots of people quickly are coming aboard. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, my chum, how are you, sir? How are you? How are you? So Success Never Sleeps. I felt it was time that I put out a new edition. It's been a while. I tend to record my Facebook Live videos when I feel inspired. That way they're not calculated, they're not contrived, they're not filled with intent to be self-serving in any shape, way, or form. I think that's very, very important. So when we talk about creativity, and that's very important because you as a critical thinker, you as a thought leader, I really want you to open your mind to that creativity. You have a message, you have a story, it should be told. So you need to express yourself creatively through writing, through drawing, through art, through blogging, through photography, through however you need to express yourself. Because the more you express yourself, the more you define your art, the more you can really zone in on your why. You can really hone in on that. Zone in, hone in on your why. And that's important. You know, I get a lot of people reaching out to me now saying, hey, here's my purpose statement. Check this out. Hey, here's our new logo. Does it communicate our why and our brand? I find that to be very, very inspiring. It shows that we're beginning to make that shift from simply a fear-based culture where we're going, I got to get 10 new students, I got to get 10 new students, to recognizing, to have that vision that organically, if I build a tribe, if I build a culture, if I create that, that people will organically be attracted to what I do. You feel me? Because by defining your story, there's nobody else in this world but you. You define that story, you define that why, you create that culture, you create that niche, and it's powerful. And when I see somebody send me a logo that doesn't have a silhouette of somebody kicking in it, or send me an ad with an instructor's down on one knee, smiling, looking in the camera, holding a kid's leg, I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Because when people send me those ready-made ads like that, that they bit from somebody else, or copy they grabbed from somebody else, that shows me you're lazy. That shows me you're not thinking. That shows me you're not pushing that envelope of creativity. You feel me? So as you come aboard, say hey. I see a lot of people here. Don't be afraid to say hi. I love to know that you're there. I love to know who I'm talking to. So Success Never Sleeps. You're hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso, on this Monday night. So who's out there? What you got for me? Ask your questions. Otherwise you'll be listening to the rantings of a madman. So today I hit another great milestone that I want to share. It's Time Live in April. We offer a very unique experience of 4 days as well. You can come for the 1 day on Sunday. You can come for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. But some people are choosing to stay for 4 days. And we've got like 4 school owners coming from Germany. A couple of my clients from Maine are coming out. A new client who's a dear friend who I just can't wait till he's back on board. The owner of Riverview Martial Arts. A couple local people, Cody, Wade. It's going to be an amazing 4 days. And I've got something special planned that I'm going to keep under wraps a little bit. I invited Sam on out. He's an amazing, and I use the word amazing because it's more than great. These people are unique in their own right, and they have something very special to offer us. Sam On is a single school owner, has about 100 some odd students. His school's in one of the worst neighborhoods, I understand, out in Illinois. And this guy's a multimillionaire. Very smart. He took the money he made in the martial arts and he invested it. And he's teaching me to do the same, and he's doing that with Greg Horton. He's doing that with many other school owners. And it's very powerful. It's very powerful. So learning to accumulate wealth, to take care of your family, to provide for your team, to help fulfill that vision is a good thing. Money is not evil. It's the people who use money that can create evil. You feel me? So I'm really, 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 really Excited to have Sam On come out for It's Time Live in April. He'll be here. Eric Shields is another one that I think is an undiscovered gem. He's kind of a diamond in the rough who's really learning to express his voice in a unique way. He does web design, and he's working with me on designing a website for our school, as well as we're trying to grow a company with really talented people that get our vision, like Chris, and it's coming along, but that process is slow. So just hanging out with you tonight. I want to really get into questions tonight. I tend to post my Facebook Lives as inspirational, as information, just to fuel your fire. But I know you have questions. I know you have burning desires. So I want you to ask me those questions. Get in there. Let me know you're here too. I would love to know who's on tonight. All right, Machan, we got to get to work, sir. So reach out when you're ready to do that, and we'll get you all set up, and we'll start working. We're going to make your school amazing. It's already amazing, but to take it to that next level of amazing, what would be higher than amazing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So success never sleeps. Tonight we're talking about that. I'm going to be 55 years old this Thursday. And as I reflect on that, with 55 years of life experience, one of the greatest things I heard yesterday, I was reading an article about Steph Curry. Now, remind you, he's the MVP, the NBA MVP. And Steph Curry is like ranked 82nd. 82nd. Hey, Chris, what's happening? All the way from Australia. He's ranked 82nd in the salaries that an NBA player receives, right? Check it out. Steph Curry, the league MVP, is 82nd in salary. And a reporter asked him, well, how do you stomach that, being who you are and the position you're in? He says, well, my daddy taught me a really amazing thing. He really stressed to me, never count another man's money. Write that down. Never count another man's money. That's amazing, right? Because if I'm looking at somebody else that has more money than me and going, I should have that, and it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time. But Steph Curry knows. He signed a 4-year deal with the Warriors, right? There were some questions about his ankles, and there were different things, and he's honoring his 4-year contract. But guess what's going to happen at the end of this year? He's going to become the highest paid player in the NBA. I think they're offering this guy like $82 million, something insane. So he's going to go from 82nd to number 1 and in a whole nother stratosphere, a whole nother league. What I think is even more important with that is to really embrace, never count another man's money. Because you can always find somebody who's more successful than you, right? Hey, what's happening, Lorenzo? You can always find somebody more successful than you. And you can always find somebody less successful than you. It's irrelevant. It's about, you know why? Because if somebody's very successful and has 20 schools, how does that change my life? It doesn't feed my kids. It doesn't inspire my team. It does nothing for me. So to compare myself to somebody else really serves no purpose unless that person's values are in line with mine. Their business model, their vision, their culture is similar to mine. Then, of course, I want to borrow and learn from that and help emulate that. Cool? So never count another man's money. That's so cool. That's so cool. I think in America we're always trying to keep up with the Joneses, and there's the haves and the have-nots, and it's easy to look across the river and say, hey, they've got more than I do. I'm jealous. I'm resentful. I'm envious of that. That doesn't help inspire you. That doesn't help motivate you. That doesn't help you. And on the flip side, you feed your ego by looking at a school owner that's not doing as well as you. You can say, well, I'm not doing so bad. So I'm going to really encourage you to try to correct that mindset. Hey, Lorenzo, to try to correct that mindset and really focus on being grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have today, because that you can build upon. That is fertilizer. That is water for your plant. Gratitude goes a long way. But again, looking at somebody else, what they have versus what you don't have, or what you do have and they don't, is a waste of energy and a waste of time. That's why you'll very seldom see me, or probably never, post pictures of my car or anything like that, because those types of things aren't inspiring to me. When I see someone post a picture of them in their Rolls Royce or their Ferrari or whatever, I'm not inspired by that. That's materialism. Now, profitability as a byproduct of living by your purpose, that's inspiring. That is very inspiring. When you see somebody who lives passionately, lives by a purpose, makes a difference, gives back to the community, helps a lot of people, pays it forward, and they're profitable, to me, that's the epitome. That's the epitome. And I'm a huge advocate of stealth wealth. Unfortunately, being here in the Bay Area, I learned that recently when California tried to do this whole, I don't know how to say that properly, secession, leaving and becoming its own country. If California was its own country, it would be the sixth largest economy in the world. The sixth largest economy in the world. That's pretty impressive, right? It is. But what's amazing is because there's so much wealth here, I get to see people who drive Priuses that are multimillionaires, that wear a pair of jeans and the most low-key, nice, great, loving people. And they spend a lot of their money and their time on their foundations to help other people and raise money and their charities. And I find that very admirable. But when I simply accumulate wealth for my own self, my own greed, to buy more things, a bigger house, I don't help people, I use people in the process to accumulate that wealth, well, I'm not inspired by that. I don't believe anybody is. So when we talk about that, I really want you as critical thinkers, I really want you as thought leaders to start telling your story. All right? And don't tell it from a point of ego. Tell it from a point of humility. Be humble. Everybody has a unique story to tell. Hey, what's happening, Morgan? Sharon? Hey, Greg? What's happening, folks? If you have a question, go ahead and share it, all right? Because I'm here for that as well. It doesn't have to be always about your school. It could be about your life. I find with 55 years of experience, I've learned a few things. I build this... Lorenzo says, I billed a student at $189 for the first time, finally. Why are you saying AGG? AGGHHH. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing, Lorenzo? You determine your worth. You determine your value. But on the flip side, I will charge premium dollars for my service. And if somebody can't afford me and they really need my help, I'm the first to reach out and extend a hand. I think it needs to be the yin and the yang. There has to be that balance. If you don't have that balance and you simply take, then that's unhealthy. And again, nobody's inspired by that. Remember, when you create that culture and you create that tribe for your business, what you're really saying to people, is, do you want to be a part of this special, unique, wonderful tribe? And if you create that, people will. But if everything's sell, greedy, me, pay me, you need me, it's not inspiring at all. At all. And life is a balance. There's a time to work, there's a time to play. Please know that. And I say this all the time, that's cliche saying, I work the 80 so I don't have to do 40. That's true. Sometimes I work long hours, but other times, because of the situation I'm in, I can take that time off. Cool? So good for you, Lorenzo. I'm glad you got to build somebody at that level. So what you got for me tonight, folks? Success never sleeps. You're hanging out with me, Brannon Beliso. I love tea. So it's time. Live in April is booking up. I'm grateful for that. I get to fly out to Mexico. You scholarship to student. Yay, Greg. Very good. I was very close to that today. I had a dad walk in, and I'm still considering it. He walked into today, and he told me he owns a business, and he's just a little tight on rent, so he's got to stop his son's tuition for the next 2 months. But he went on to rave how he loves the freedom of having a month-to-month service agreement in our school, and how comfortable he felt walking in and sharing with us something very personal and private, that he can't afford this tuition right now. But he went on to rave about how much it's benefited his son. I think I missed the message. I really did. And I just listened to the man. I said, well, great, we'll be here, sir. And that was it. But I really believe tomorrow I'm going to have my team reach out and tell the mom that if her son would like to keep training for the next few months without payment, I'm going to be totally okay one day tonight. Yeah, I've got that too, Greg. In San Francisco, I've got a single mom who's on a scholarship. Absolutely. Two students returned right after I gave a scholarship. Yeah, so you gave a scholarship to one person and two other students came back to start training? Is that what you're telling me? Lorenzo, yes, life skills is working. Parents are finding value in it. Read it after every class. Parents are eating it up. I think that's why I was able to make that sale. When you're doing it, when you're doing it, how do they understand it on paper? I don't get that, Lorenzo. I get that you're happy. Yeah, I mean, because our schools should be an institute of life skills education, and martial arts is just the vehicle for it. Honestly, I know there's people who feel we should just teach self-defense, we should just teach the physicality, but really, nobody's going to go to a soccer coach and ask them to please teach my child focus and discipline, but they're going to walk into your school and demand it. And please don't think for 1 minute because you're a black belt, you are qualified to teach life skills. You are not. I've put in 4 or 5 thousand hours studying child psychology, life skills, different things, doing my own research, writing my own papers, creating my own programs. I've spent a lot of time, a lot of time. Yeah, so see, and I believe in that too, Greg. Not to break away, but Greg said, yeah, just how many minutes after? Minutes after he gave that scholarship to that one single mom for her child, two students returned. I so believe in the law of paying it forward. And you don't pay it forward because you expect something in return. But isn't it pretty amazing, Greg, when things happen like that? It's just pretty cool. And I want to welcome you, Greg. Greg is one of our newest Excellent Kids clients. Lorenzo will tell you how amazing Excellent Kids is. It's innovative. It's innovative. I don't believe anything is turnkey. Turnkey is a salesman type of gimmick, and turnkey is smoke and mirrors. Nothing is turnkey. Everything requires you to work. Everything requires you to put in the effort to make that integrate into your school. Lorenzo, how do I describe it on paper? For my school, my culture, and for prospects that walk in, can you send me a sales? I don't have sales copy. I've got quality content. Are you talking about for Excellent Kids, Lorenzo, or just life skills in general? Which one is it? But what I'll make sure to do for you, Lorenzo, is I'll post a couple of articles I have. I've got a couple of great blogs that talk about life skills. Yeah, Excellent Kids. Yeah, we've got that. We've got a handout that we give to all prospective parents that I'll definitely attach to this. I'll put it here in this Facebook thread as a link, maybe a Dropbox file, but I'll make sure that happens as well. Yeah, life skills in general. I mean, it used to be the word character development was the big buzz, but life skills is really what's going on. I mean, an environment of higher learning focuses on life skills. And by using your student parent handout and passing them out to parents every class, by memorizing your mat chat, you start planting seeds organically for people to embrace life skills without being so regimented and structured and turning them into robots. The scary part I see about some of the life skills education I see out there, they literally are task driven. Do this, do this, do this. And if you do this, you get the focus badge. And if you do this, I approve of you. And if you do this, you're a good person. I think that's not healthy. I really don't. I think what's amazing is when you organically plant seeds by simply saying, hey, here's the student parent handout. You read through this, you apply it to the dynamics of your household, and you choose how your child earns the badge. By organically planting seeds like that, it takes on a life of its own, that parents are allowed to embrace the life skill under their own values, under the conditions of their household, and implement it successfully. I think when we sit there and say, okay, in order to test for your yellow belt, you must do this life skill sheet, you must fill it out, you must submit it, or you can't belt test. Now we're being a police. Now we're being Big Brother, and we're controlling people. Can anybody see that, or am I the only one who gets that? Am I the only one who gets that? Those kids are taking those badges like drugs, man. Seriously. Well, I've never heard that, Lorenzo. That's a new one. Um, they are. The badges are a simple system of rewards, but they're not patches. They're not stickers. They're badges, like a badge of honor. They're earning those badges, but you have to make them earn it. Again, based upon the behavior, the habit they exhibit. Not saying, okay, if you do 10 push-ups, you get a fitness badge. No way. You see somebody training hard and they don't even know you're looking, boom, that's the kid I'm giving the fitness badge to. You feel me, Lorenzo? Because I really learned this. I was judging at a tournament. It was forms, and this junior black belt stepped into the ring. He had perfect form, perfect focus, perfect respect, perfect everything. Got that first place trophy, and 15 minutes later, I look over and the same kid's got his black belt tied around his head, and he's kicking and punching his friend. Well, does he really possess that life skill, or was he dancing for the prize? I believe he was dancing for the prize. So I'm pretty adamant about that. So I learned that firsthand. It's things that are task-driven are not good. That's why, basing people upon a set test score is not a good thing. Not a good thing. It doesn't account for creativity. It doesn't account for individuality. And that's really what we should be doing in the martial arts. Not creating robots, not creating minions, but inspiring people through a skill set such as confidence, focus, respect, manners, self-discipline, self-control, giving them these different life skills to, again, manifest the individual. Everybody with me on that? Everybody with me? So, yeah, I think what really should separate us, and Greg, you're going to feel that when you get excellent kids, it'll probably branch right into you want to incorporating into your youth karate as far as the life skills part of it. When you become a leader in life skills, everything changes. Yeah, you can't. And Lorenzo, that's a very valuable point. Lorenzo says you can't force life skills on kids. Parents need to see the value. Also in excellent kids, when the parents get involved and see what their kids are learning hands-on, that's the selling point. Well, that's true. That's true. How do you get, Greg's asking, how do you get our team to the next level? Well, I think number one is understanding, Greg, what is your number one source of employment? Adults or high school and college kids? Let's start there, Greg. Because he's asking, how do we get our teams to the next level? So what is our number one demographic for employment? Adults or high school and college kids? What do you think, Greg? Type it in, Greg. What do you think? Anybody, what do you think? What is our number form of employment? Kids, right? Mark, number one is kids. That's it. We have teenagers. We have, more college, more high school and college than adults. Yeah, I've got a couple adults. They work day jobs. They come in for a couple hours every week and they teach, right? We get that. Okay, so first of all, how are you going to inspire a high school and college kid to want to make this their career? How do we do that? You're probably not. It's probably not going to happen till they're out of college, 23, 24 years old. So there's two types of teams there. One is my full-time team that makes this their career, and I train them every Tuesday night from 7:30 to 9. Then all those high school, college kids are still thinking about it, instructors in training. We have a big training once a month at the beginning of the month for 2 hours. So we're kind of working two different levels. Now the people that are full-time, Greg, the people that are full-time, it's really about understanding what is it that they need. It's more than just a paycheck. It's more than just a pension. It's more than just medical benefits. It's really about feeling like they're contributing. They need to know they're contributing. They need to know they're a part of. I'm very big on trusting and tracking. I write great systems, Greg, to train a team to do it better than me. And then I simply trust them at what they do, and then I track them through statistics. As long as our numbers are what they are, and in 2016 we did 1.8 million between two schools. Our new location in its second year did $808,000. San Francisco did $975,000. As long as they're there, I'm going to continue to let them do what they do. Would you agree? So it's first understanding the demographic that you're working with. And then to inspire them to that next level, well, those are some of the things I named, right? Pension, medical, good pay, not okay pay. Pay them well, and allow them to contribute. Allow them to be part of cultivating your tribe, of developing your brand. Because we know once you have a brand, Greg, you must live, teach, and preach that brand. And your team are the ambassadors of that. But we must empower them. And we can never do that if we live from the traditional martial arts mindset. I'm the master and you're the lowly student. It doesn't work that way. You feel me? Now, the next level is to understand Every day you have the here, right, Greg? You open the door, you take the money, and you teach the classes, right? Open the door, take the money, teach the classes. But every day, Greg, you got to paint that picture of there. What does there look like? Where is that company going to be in 3 to 5 years? Paint that picture, even though some of it's hypothetical. Paint a clear picture of that. Paint it very, very clearly. And with that said, also, Greg, provide your team a path. Like if I'm an instructor today, let's say hypothetically, well, what happens now? Do I become an operating partner and I run a location for you? Can I at some point become a franchisee, pay you a lump sum, and then pay you 11%, on a monthly basis? Is there some point I can outright buy you out? So you got to have all those stepping stones, because if I don't see a way to progress in your company, I will leave, Greg. I will leave. So that's the other half of that when you're looking at your instructors that are getting older, who want to devote their life to this. Realize that. I would never look at it as, oh, they're never going anywhere. It's the complete opposite. All right, so let me take a look. Jeremy, hey, what's happening, Jeremy? Jeremy Epstein, good evening. We have fixed our rotating curriculum with the 2 weeks earns a stripe, and the students couldn't be happier. Oh, great. I'm glad you did that. I'm really glad you did that, Jeremy. Super glad. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Also super easy on the team as well. We have also moved to an all-inclusive membership, testing included, parent night out. We have had such a good turnaround and parents overjoyed. Oh, Jeremy, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. Because what you're doing, I see, again, it's kind of like looking at something and making it better. The challenge I saw with earning 1 tip every 4 weeks, right? In kids' years, life, that's years away. So, and also the manageability for your team. If you take, it's real simple though, right? 1 tip, 4 weeks. You know what? Take that material, divide it in half. Do 1 tip for half that curriculum, 1 tip for the other half. So by earning tips every 2 weeks, you're right, Jeremy, it's so much more manageable. Your team can teach more efficiently. You're teaching in smaller chunks. And the metaphor I use for that, if I want to climb to the mountaintop, is it better to take three big giant steps or 100 little ones? I would say 100 little ones any day. It's manageable, you can pace yourself, and you work at a steady growth. It's the same thing here. And by going all-inclusive, I think what it does, it allows parents to budget properly, and we eliminate that perception of nickel and diming. We eliminate that perception of used car salesmen. So you create this relationship is so much better, so much better. So I'm really glad you did that. I'm so glad. What else, Jeremy? Now, we have been hard at working on systems to write all our systems we have for our studio. May I send you a copy of Facebook Messenger with the start of a prospect system? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Jeremy. I'm happy to do that. I love to hear that. Or are there any systems you'd be willing to share? Yeah, I've got a whole thing on systems. I've got tons of stuff on systems. I think really when you talk about a system, though, again, you begin with the why, Jeremy. Why do I need the system? And does it help fulfill my purpose? Our purpose is to help people live their best life. So any system that we write is to help people live their best life. We even have a system if somebody pees on the floor. Even that, I can help somebody live their best life and avoid a whole embarrassing situation. So everything for us is based upon systems to fulfill a purpose. You feel me? So if you're beginning to write systems, Jeremy, and you're predominantly doing all the teaching and that type of situation, what I would recommend is the first systems you should write are the ones that require you to do them. Because the more you can write systems for what you do, then you can stop doing those things and work on your business versus just in it. You feel me, Jeremy? So people say all this time, where do I begin when I write a system? Write the systems for everything that you do. That is the most important, because just on another level, think if you got sick or hurt, Jeremy, and couldn't work, right? How long would your school stay open? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? I don't know. So think about that question as well. The first systems I want to see you write, Jeremy, that come across to me are the ones that everything that you do in your school. So you can train someone to do it better than you, so you create that sense of security. Feel me? And then you can work on your business versus that. First, you got to define that system, Jeremy, right? And then you got to write all the steps involved in that system. Then you have to verify the system by testing it. And then once you test that system through trial and error, then once you get it all ironed out and get all the kinks worked out, then you simply manage that system through tracking data. Track different data to see if this was growing or going down at different things. You track that data and you're always tweaking, you're always tweaking, you're always tweaking. And you can help supplement that with surveys. If I want to know if my curriculum's rocking, I'm going to send all my students surveys on a regular basis, asking them to rate the class and how much they liked it. Cool? Lorenzo, I have a picture of those dollars, just saying. Amazing numbers, but don't you think it's because you're in San Francisco? I don't think so. Not at all. Not at all. Because the population of Millbrae is only 22,000. Very small, very incubated. 22,000 people in Millbrae, Lorenzo. And I know you have a lot more people than me in your town in Las Vegas. So I beg to differ. I just want to make sure I capitalize my product is so well that out of that 22,000, I'm getting 100% of them. That's the goal. That's the goal. Really. So when somebody once said to me, well, I can't charge as much where I'm at in Australia than you can in San Francisco, I said, yeah, but my rent's higher, everything's higher, so it's relative. But if that's the case, then you need a bigger school, charge less, have a bigger staff, and have more students, and you could still make $1 million a year. You feel me? So if the only excuse for you not being successful is I can charge more in San Francisco than you can charge in Las Vegas, I'm going to encourage you to change that mindset. Again, what are we talking about? I started this whole thing with Steph Curry. Don't count another man's money. Don't count what I charge compared to what you charge. You should charge what you charge based upon a demographic study of what that economy there supports. What's the average household income, right? How many families are there? That's really what you base it upon. And I know some of these marketing guys will tell you, well, McDonald's hamburger is $1.50 in New York as it is in Illinois, as it is in Dallas, as it is in San Francisco. They don't change their price, neither does Starbucks. We're not talking about a $4 cup of coffee. We're talking about $150, $160, in some cases, in our case, $199 a month. So you can't compare the two. Please stop doing that. And don't take advice from people like that. I wouldn't. Lorenzo, the rotating curriculum is extremely effective. It is. And at its time live in April, I'm going to spend more time on rotating curriculum. I'm going to help you guys nail it down even more. Because the more people get into it, it peels away another layer, and they get it more, and they get it more, and it motivates them and inspires them to no end. It really, really does. I hope everybody has their striping system in place too, Jeremy. And make sure you got your striping system tight as well. Because it really is. If I give my team the tools to succeed, my parents are well informed, they understand what we're doing, the students get what we're doing, then performance all around is just higher. It just is. Cool? What else you got for me tonight? Anybody else got anything else before I get out of here? While I'm waiting for your last questions, I want to say, hey, you want to be a part of It's Time in April. It's already halfway sold out. The fact that you can come in on Saturday and experience my culture and witness classes, all the stuff I talk about, when you see it in real time, you get it. Then we're going to spend 4 hours on Saturday with classroom development. We're going to sit there and talk about the anatomy of a technique, how to teach things. I want to get your brain wrapped around that. Because if you can get that, it makes all the difference in the world in training your team. I've got 15, 16-year-old kids that could probably outperform a lot of people because they're trained so well and they get the culture and they get the message. Cool? Then Sunday, all day long, It's Time Live with me, Brannon Beliso, my special guest, Sam On, who's going to teach us about growing wealth. We're going to also have Eric Shields is joining us, and he's going to, I believe, if you own your website, you own your success. I'm not farming it out to anybody. I'm not renting my website from anybody. And any SEO stuff that they can do, you can do with enough learning. You really, really can. And remember, I've got a very crappy website right now. So here's some more data. There's some more data from you. Even my super crappy website, we did $1.8 million last year. I recognize I'm a brick and mortar store. So most of my business comes within a 3 to 5 mile radius. Did you hear me? 3 to 5 mile radius. So all of my marketing efforts are concentrated on saturating that community within a 3 to 5 mile radius. Cool? Jeremy, we're really debating not doing that this time. Will you be live streaming your event again? Probably not. We had such a bad experience with the company we used. Unless we can find a better company, I see no need for that, honestly. You know, I think being there face to face is an experience that everybody should have. When we can break bread together and eat lunch, when you can see classes going on, Jeremy, if you can somehow, some way make it out for that, uh, people walk out of there, they say, my brains are bleeding. They walk out with really good content they can apply right now. Talk to Lorenzo. Hey, Sharon. Oh, okay. Sharon says, good night, Brannon. Good night, and God bless you as well. You know, Jeremy, talk to the people like Lorenzo, Dean Wilkerson. Talk to all the different people that come to my events. It's an amazing thing. It's just an amazing thing. And I hope you can be there. So look for the link here at my Facebook page. Share this with everybody. Everybody. Because we all deserve to benefit. And this information, I can only keep what I have by giving it away. If you find it useful, share it with as many people as you can. Very important. It's Time Live, April 8th and 9th, and also April 10th and 11th. We have a 1-day experience, a 2-day experience, and a 4-day experience. Something for everybody. And you can go to brannonbeliso.com and find the information there. Look under events at my Facebook page and share this. It's a new day. It's a new day, and we are all waking up. Your critical thinkers, your thought leaders. There's so much more, you know, to running your business than just some freaking ready-made ad someone's going to sell you, right? Or some template-driven website that doesn't capture anything about what you believe in or what you stand for. Cool? So this is Brannon Beliso. I want to say thank you very much. Success never sleeps. Until we talk again, you go out there and live your best life.